Yes, everybody, welcome to another episode of Late Night with Eddie Buffalo. Late Night with Eddie Buffalo. It's got to be midnight Eastern time, Saturday night on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. All the comments and statements by your buddy Eddie Buffalo are purely for entertainment purposes. And I would like to talk about our sponsor for today. Sponsor for today is our friends with Pinchy Gringo, pinchygringo.org. They have a lot of cool stuff. They have t-shirts, they have hats, they have long sleeve stuff, they have Pinchy Gringo hoodies, they have tank tops. What's the hat? Oh, gear under gear. They have a subcategory Gringa for the ladies. But I got to tell you, the seem to like the boy stuff too. So check out our friends at Pinche Gringa and Gringo.com. What you'll find something you like, and when you do, you go to your buggy if you're from down in Texas, and if you're up from up north, you put it in your shopping cart, put in the promo code Buffalo, and you will get an additional 15. So pinchygringo.org, check them out. I think you'll have a good time. So I have to say apologies to my buddy Dr. Andy because we actually shot this show Friday afternoon and we had a great show. He wanted to talk about 80s cinema, and I'm going to try to replicate everything with that, but for whatever reason the audio was it just wasn't good. So hope everybody's having another wonderful time. I want to say a wonderful happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, Katie Buffalo, turning 23 today back in Buffalo, New York, my Valentine's baby. And what's crazy, and you're going to laugh about this, is that me and my ex, we never celebrated Valentine's Day because it was Katie's birthday. And when she was little, where did she want to go all the time? Chuck E. Cheese. Guess what? Nobody goes to Chuck E. Cheese at all during Valentine's Day. So it was always kind of empty, you know? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the movies I like, and we will circle to Dr. Andy's stuff, because he came up with some movies that I really didn't um, think of or hear of before, and I would like to really check them out. So I'm just going to go through some of the movies that I liked when I was a kid and talk a little bit about them. I have a lot of useless knowledge up here in this cranium, guys and girls. So let's see. And let me know in the comments what you thought about our theme song. That we're trying a couple different things, and it's the one that I picked today. So let's see. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid, and a lot of people, was Smokey and the Bandit. And what was really amazing about Smokey and the Bandit is that it was shot for about $1 million. It was the second highest grossing movie of 1977 behind only Star Wars. And how the story goes is stuntman extraordinaire Al Needham was actually living with Burt Reynolds when he was working on this script. And Burt Reynolds said, "Give me $1 million and I'll be in your movie," which kind of messed things up because Jerry Reed was actually originally supposed to play the snowman. But and another interesting thing, a cute little Sally Field, the network, yeah, not network, the movie studios did not want her in that role because they didn't think she was cute enough, which I think absolutely bad shit chizzy. And then we have Jackie Gleason, Sheriff Buford T. Justice, which he was so entertaining. There was hardly ever a script for this thing. A lot of that stuff that you see that these folks did in this movie is that they was all ad lib, which is pretty amazing. And the one thing that Jackie Gleason's known for, especially in this movie, is saying "some bitch." Sumbitch. And he got it actually from Burt Reynolds' father. Burt Reynolds' father was a sheriff in Florida. And so when Jackie Gleason asked Burt Reynolds, what kind of stuff did your dad say? He said, son of a bitch. He goes, no, he said some bitch, which I thought was kind of funny. And he used it and it became very famous. And another funny story that we talked about on the show is another story about Jackie Gleason. There was a TV show back on in the 50s, and it was hosted by Rocky Marciano, the great heavyweight champ. And he'd have, sports people on. He'd have people from the movies. And the gentleman that you see on the screen there is two-ton Tony Gallant. He is just a ridiculous character if you want to dig into it. He was a bar owner. He delivered ice, and a lot of times he was late from two different bouts and different trainings because he was delivering ice back in the day. So Jackie Gleason was telling a story that he was doing a stand-up routine in a real yucky. It was just very seedy, very not great. And so he had two shows, one at 7 and one at 10. And this guy would not shut up. He would just gave Jackie Gleason all kinds of hard times. He was just heckling the crap out of him. And so in between the shows, Jackie said to the owner, I swear to God, that guy starts that crap again. If he's still here, I'm going to take him outside and I'm going to give him what for. And the owner's like, oh, really? Okay, you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So, anyways, he starts the second set, and this guy starts on him again. And Jackie Gleason's like, hang on, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to stop the show, but excuse me, sir. Would you like to go outside and we could take care of this like gentleman? The guy's like, beautiful, let's go. So they go outside, and Jackie Gleason says to the guy, and the next thing he knew, he was waking up on the floor, looking up at the furnace in the basement of the bar because this guy just knocked him silly, just knocked him right out. And the doctor's taking care of him. Jackie Gleason's like, who the hell was that guy? He hit me harder than anybody I've ever been hit by. And the bar owner said, that was two-ton Tony Galento. He goes, holy crap. Why didn't you tell me that? And the bar owner said, you're a pretty smart guy. I figured you'd figure it out. So, like I said, it's a very interesting story and about two very famous characters, Tony Galento and our buddy Jackie Gleason. So there was so many different movies that we wanted to talk about, and the one that Doc really wanted to talk about is Up in Smoke by Cheech and Chong. Talked Cheech a few times on the show. I did watch the documentary that came out either last year or the year before that. And it was a great documentary about the history of them, how popular they were, how they were actually doing records when doing that back then. And supposedly Up in Smoke came with a humongous rolling, not Up in Smoke. Their first album came out with a huge rolling paper. That was the doc was telling me. But some of the people that were in it, I mean, obviously Cheech Chong, Tom Skerritt was in it, Stacy Keach. I guess they all needed the money. And the two skits that I liked the best was when the cops come to the door at the house. They're like, hello? Yeah, who is it? Dave, man, open up. No, Dave's not here, man. And it just kept on going on and on. And another scene, the cops are knocking on the window of the car. And She just like, you keep on knocking, but you can't come in. And I know I don't know if he was in this movie, but I know that Pee Wee Herman a bunch of movies also with Cheech and Chong. See if I can see. Muy interesante. Speaking of Spanish, since I've come down here to Texas, a lot of my clients are of Mexican descent. So as to be respectful, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to learn another language. And they're not a sponsor of the show, but I've been using Duolingo. And it's the best 12 bucks that I spend every month because whether I'm going to store, gas station, whatever, at the gym, a lot of my friends know that I am trying to learn Spanish and they'll talk Spanish. And so I went to get gas the other day and I saw the young lady that's always there and I started talking to her in Spanish. And there was a cigarette distributor. She was in there stocking their shelves and everything. And she was a very beautiful young black lady. And she sticks her head around the counter and she says, y'all really messing up my head. I'm like, why? What did I do? I just came in to get some gas and a lottery ticket. She goes, I seen a white guy walk in. And then I hear him talking in Spanish and he sounded like he was from Mexico. So thank you, Duolingo, for letting me work on my Spanish, and thank you to all my friends in the Greenville area for letting me practice on them. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But a lot of other movies that I liked when I was a kid. Um, Doc is very heavy on the comedies. He talked about Eating Raoul, a movie that I never saw before, and I'm going to save that for him to uh, talk about. But I also like the um, the disaster movies, Irwin Allen's disaster movies, and my favorite has to be this one here, The Towering Inferno. I mean, it had who's who of people that were in it. Let's see, like this is from 1974, so I was 7 years old. Paul Newman, he was the main guy in it. Very Steve McQueen, uh, Faye Dunaway, she was super duper young in it. You know what I mean? William Holden. I mean, all these are huge stars in their day. Jennifer Jones, Susan Blakely, and he's not listed, but as a Buffalo Bill fan, and then before everything went down that it did with him, O.J. Simpson was actually in The Towering Inferno. So I thought, you know, I haven't watched it in a million years, and I would like to watch it and see how it holds up after all these years. And they also had a lot of these movies too. Let's see. And by the way, once again, all the comments and statements by Eddie Buffalo are purely for entertainment purposes. Where it was like, and like I said, to me, they were really entertaining. It's up to you if you like them or not. You might want to check them out. You know what I mean? And now that I'm spending a lot of time with Stephanie from Carrollton, uh, she's big on going on cruises, and I'm like, I've never been on. Never. I mean, I've gone to like resorts for like all inclusive things. She's like, why? I go, well, there's a reason for it, and it's this movie. They did remake, but this is side adventure. The cruise ship app trips flips upside down. I'm like, fool me once, I decided that ain't no way you're gonna get me on a boat. But once again, all of these huge stars in her. Gene Hackman, he played a priest. Skelly Winters, she did not look like that in the movie. Carol Lindley, Ernest freaking Borgnine, Red Button, Stella Stevens. Holy crap, I don't remember her being in it. Pamela Sue Martin, she ended up going on to Dallas. No, and the Ewing Ranch is actually very close to my house. And Jack Albertson, so that was pretty. trying to think of cover all the disaster movies. But for me, one of the most funnest movies for me, and they have been remade a bunch of times, is The Planet of the Apes with Roddy McDowell. Um, um, Linda Harrison, Kim Hunter, Mark Seven, James Whitmore, Lou Wagner. I mean, it just goes on and on. The cast, how worth it. And what the big problem was that a lot of people who didn't think actors were going to want to be in it because of the prosthetics they were wearing on face. And I guess it took them hours on end every day just to get everything on so it looks perfect. But one funny thing is one of the actors that played Dr. Zayas, he actually went on the Johnny Carson show in his costume, and he's sitting there smoking a cigarette, blah blah blah, talking to Johnny like nothing. And that just was to me that was pretty amazing to see, you know. And another movie that I talked about with, like I talked about pretty popular movies now, and I want to talk about a movie that a lot of people have never heard of it, but for me, it reminds me a lot of stuff when I was a kid because of my father. And if you in the 70s and 80s, you knew who Happy Days was. You knew who the hey, I'm Fonzie, whatever, you know, with Ron Howard, Anson Williams, Darren Moran, Donnie Most, Marion Ross, Tom Bach, Scott Baio, Al Malinaro. I mean, there's so many guys. So when Henry Winkler got so popular in the role of Fonzie, he got offered a lot of different roles. And the one movie that I'm talking about right now is a movie called The One and Only. And it was set up in the 50s where he played. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Basically, the film is about uh, a gentleman that is a actor, a real way, way, way over the top actor. You know that he dying. He stretched it. He really he was eating. So what it ended up being about, and I think the reason my father, it was a pair in the 50s. I mean, a lot of people like I growing up, we watched Monday Night Raw every Monday, a little bit later. But it all started back in the 50s where they were looking for to put stuff on TV. So they would do like race car races, bowling, and professional wrestling. Well, the person that is credited for making wrestling what it is today and then is Gorgeous George. And in the movie, that's who Henry Winkler. They don't come right out and say it, but that's pretty much who it is. Henry Winkler was in it. Kim Darby, she was always cute and everything. She was once again William Daniels, second time he's in the movie we're talking about. And everybody will know William Daniels more for his voice now because he was the voice of. He was the. He had Flo on Alice. She was the young lady's mom. Billy Ball announcer in Des Moines. Beckler Jr. He was a super good. Brandon Cruz. I didn't know he was. Dennis James was announcer. Chavo Guerrero Sr. was in it. And the one person that's not listed in the cast, the movie, he is not credited with the scene. It's an uncredited scene. but it was a young Roddy Piper, which he played like a serviceman, and like before Henry Winkler became this George like character. He tried different things. Like in one, he was an athlete. He would come out, Roddy Piper in the head every match with his helmet, and he would win the match, and the crowd would just lose their mind. And then another one, he was a hypnotist. He would put people under spells to 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 get them out of there. So I'm gonna talk uh, and movies and and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. It started Bee Gees. No, it's not Saturday Night Fever. It is Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. It was a film adaptation of the album, you know. And who played Gears was Peter Frampton. And this is a shout out to my cousin Sharon Buffalo. She's down in West Palm Beach now. She's a very successful lady. I'm very proud of her. But holy crap, man. You would go into her room, teenage Sharon, and I never seen anything like it. From the floor to the ceiling, even like I said, the walls and the ceiling. She had stuff on the ceiling. Was all Peter Frampton, and Peter Frampton was known better for Frampton Comes Alive, one of the best live albums to come out. This is 1978 too. I thought it was 80s. 1978. So there you got Barry Gibb. Billy Preston, who was always known as the Fifth Beatle. He was on so many of their albums. George Burns played Mr. Kite. Very interesting. Sandy Farina, beautiful young lady. She played Strawberry Field. How corny was that? Um, Robin Gibb, another BG. Maurice Gibb, he was in there too. He did the same movie. But the music was pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be the Beatles, but nobody is. The one thing that I find very interesting about the Beatles that they're credited with a lot of firsts. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Steve Martin, a very young Steve Martin, played Maxwell for Maxwell's Silver Hammer. So give it a shot if you can find it. It's very hard to find, you know. But every once in a while, I do listen to it as I'm hitting the gym. It'll just pop up on my thing because my playlist is all over the place. But I hope everybody liked this show today. I'm doing this show to have fun with you guys, to enjoy myself, because I know we usually have and we've done a lot of our shows. And I love our shows. Monday, you got Buffalo Fights, which we talk about boxing, and we also talk about MMA, sometimes wrestling, bare knuckle boxing, things like that. And Tuesday, we do our news show, which is EBI News for You. The news, a little bit of pop culture, whatever's going on in the world. I know we've talked a lot about finance the past couple of weeks, the way Bitcoin and gold are all over the place. Wednesday is our flagship show, which is Insurance Questions Podcast. And then our brand new show, and like I said, unfortunately, he wasn't on this because the audio was so bad. But our buddy, Dr. Andy Freeman, we just taped the show, which was fine today. We did his show first, and then we did the late night show. And I don't know, but very interesting show coming up about cancer. Um, you know, like I like saying, I try to end the show a little bit different than we end the other one, and that is usually I say life's worth living. You just got to keep on fighting, but life is worth having a good time, and it is too short to surround yourself with people that do not make you happy. So don't do it. Run away, and that's all I got to say today. I had fun. I hope you did too. I'm going to keep on doing this until you guys stop watching. I hope it's never. And we're just gonna end with a theme song again. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have a nice Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there, and okay, I don't know about that. Every episode's special. Best. Have a good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show.